Hello and welcome to your Monday, March 28th yoga practice. Let's find a comfortable, easy seat, and today perhaps we start the week slightly different. If you'd like to start with Virasana Hero's Pose, I do like to take this shape with a block between the ankles and then a folded blanket. Towel would also work under the seat. And you can just be seated in your usual easy seat if you would rather. And then once you get settled, however you'd prefer to be perched, you can soften your gaze, looking down your cheeks, or maybe close your eyes. And noticing here that the body is breathing. And practicing being present in the body. You might be anchoring to a sensation, either following the inhale and the exhale, maybe anchoring into the sensations of what you can feel, your seat dropping into the ground, any part of you connected to the earth. Allowing yourself another breath or two of simply arriving. And with your next inhale, perhaps you can sit a little taller. And as you exhale, shoulder blades slide down. Imagine they're trying to slide all the way down into your back pockets. So we've been beginning to explore the 8-limbed path of yoga. We're on the 4th Yama, which is Brahmacharya. It can be translated to mean responsible behavior with respect to our goal of moving toward the truth. My teacher translated it as right use of energy. More prudent, old school translations might call it celibacy. We can call it right use of energy. So as we move through the week, perhaps we'll think of how we harness our energy and choosing to use our energy in ways that move us towards the goal of truth. If you'd like to chant Om, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale deeply for a long Om. Slowly release your hands down, resting your hands in any way that's comfortable. You might keep your fingers interlaced, palms up on your lap. Some simple neck exercises to warm up the body. Look over your right shoulder and then over your left. You can do this at your own pace, maybe moving with the breath or maybe letting the breath come and go naturally as you pivot the head on its axis. Noticing if there's any crunchy spots, if it feels smooth or rigid, and then knowing that just this simple movement helps produce and release the synovial joint fluid. When you're ready, return your head to neutral and drop your right ear towards the right shoulder. Keep breathing as you try to soften your shoulders. Inhale to bring your head back to neutral, then exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Soften the jaw, soften the neck. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder, then roll the head forward. And here you can roll your head from side to side, like drawing a smile with your nose. Or maybe your neck likes it if you take a full circle. Just do so really carefully if so. And switch directions when you like. Notice if you're still breathing or if you've started to hold your breath. Try to breathe. And then bringing your head back to neutral, fingertips to shoulders, sit tall, engage the core, try to anchor down through the base of your spine and draw tiny circles with your elbows. Noticing if you automatically drew circles backwards or forwards. And you can let the circles get bigger. Maybe the breath gets more full. And once the circles are as big as they can get, switch directions. And if possible, you might claw into your shoulder caps, into the pectoral muscles. Let the circles start getting smaller. And eventually come to stillness. Imagine the elbows reaching as far away from each other as possible. Core engaged. You can stay like this or open your arms out wide, palms towards the sky, maybe point the fingertips down towards the earth a bit. If you'd like, you can rotate the arms and the shoulders. You could imagine like you're screwing in a light bulb, just at arm's length on both sides. Rotating forwards and backwards. Draw some circles with the wrists. And as you're ready with an inhale, slowly reach up, spread your fingers really wide. See how much of a stretch you can create through the fingers, through the hands, all the way up. Exhale, draw your hands together down through the heart space. Pause for a moment here. Inhale and exhale. As you're ready, make your way to tabletop. Keep in mind, you can always put a blanket under your knees. When you arrive in tabletop, you can pass through cow and cat. Inhaling to drop the belly. Exhaling to arch the spine. And move in any way that feels nice here. Maybe pausing to shake the head out, maybe finding child's pose, or looking over your shoulders. Free movement for 5 to 8 breaths. Another breath or two. And then we'll all return to tabletop, Armanasana. Imagine dragging your knees towards your hands so our abdominal muscles are really hugging in, engaged here. Tuck your left toes and push them back on the mat, so making the left leg long, then press back through your left heel. Still engaging the core, so our back is flat. You could put a teacup on it. And you might stay just like this. Maybe you lift your left leg, imagining that you're lifting from the inner left thigh. And depending on how this feels, maybe you reach your right fingertips to the distance. Notice if the left wrist starts to hurt, you can make soft knuckles. Just really try to grip with your left fingertips. On your next inhale, maybe you get a little longer, fingertips to foot. And on an exhale, hug everything in towards the midline. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, hug it into the center. On an inhale, re-extend, an option to pulse, lifting the heel as high as you can of the left leg. And then returning to tabletop. You might shake out the left wrist. Promise the right wrist you'll do the best you can. Then returning to tabletop, tuck the right toes. Slowly push the right leg long and then press back through the heel. Hopefully finding a stretch on the back of the right leg. Still engaging the core, trying to drag your left knee towards your hands. Breathing here, perhaps you lift the right leg, imagining you're lifting from the upper inner right inseam. Core engaged. Maybe you reach your left fingertips long. Breathe deeply. Get as long as you can. Go easy on the right wrist. One more big breath to reach. And as you exhale, hug everything in towards the midline. Inhale to re-extend. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale to reach. Exhale, hugging into the midline. Inhale, re-extend, and option to pulse, lifting the right heel. Really warming up, saying hello to the gluteal muscles. And as you're ready, set hand and knee down. You can shake out the right wrist. And then tuck your toes, full breath in. Exhale, find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take any movement here that feels good, keeping in mind that we're sending energy into the fingertips, lightening the wrists as best we can. And if we think about it, that's a right use of energy. So we're not spoiling all of our energy on having our body have to recover from carrying the weight in our wrists. We're distributing, breathing, let the head hang heavy. All right. On an inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward. Exhale, step or swing the right foot to the right thumb, and then set the left knee down. Low lunge. You can bring blocks under your hands if you'd like. So we stay for just one more breath. And then we send the hips back, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. We can let the right toes point towards the sky for a moment as we imagine hooking the right hip back in space, stretching the energetic lines of the leg on the bottom side. You might wiggle your toes. And then as you're ready, point your toes towards the earth. See if you can feel the top of your right foot. And as you're ready, bend into the right knee, walking your hands forward. Plant your hands, full breath in. As you exhale, step back into plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale, lower your knees. Arms hug your side body as you lower your chest and chin like a little inchworm. On an inhale, scoot forward, pointing your toes back, lifting your heart, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck your toes, make your way back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward, and with your exhale, step or swing that left foot to the left thumb. Lower down the right knee. You can bring blocks under your hands if you'd like. As we press the hips back, transitioning to Ardha Hanumanasana. Half monkey pose. Spread the left toes wide as you point them towards the sky and imagine your left hip shifting back in space. That's where we get that sensation of traction. Long spine. You may or may not be folding over the leg. Either way is fine. And as you're ready, toes spread wide. Press the left toes towards the earth and try to notice the top of your left foot. Another big breath in. And bend into your left knee, walk your hands forward. This time we'll plant our hands, preparing to step forward. Inhale and exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Take your time getting there. We'll all meet in forward fold. As you arrive, you might interlace your hands and put them on the back of your neck. Just an option. Maybe you sway side to side. You have that bird's eye view of your foundation, the foundation of our energy use physically. So second and third toes centered with the middle of your heel. Feet about hips distance apart. Another breath, maybe coming to stillness if you've still been moving. Maybe you straighten your legs just a smidge more, noticing how that affects the low back. All the parts affect the whole. Releasing your hands if they're not already on the ground. Place them there. With your next inhale, lift up halfway or partially, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. Big full body stretch. Exhale your hands to your heart. Interlace your fingers, flip the palms away from you and reach the arms up again. If this is too much for the shoulders or arms, then you can just release the hands or grab a strap. Otherwise, with the fingers interlaced, palms towards the sky, feel your shoulders slide up towards your ears. We want our shoulder blades to slide up and then out wide. So as they slide up, then imagine pulling your fingers apart. And then there, hopefully, we can feel our lateral muscles popping. Inhale, get a little longer. Exhale, lower your tailbone. Imagine sinking the hips or the back of the hips down. Inhale to reach and exhale, tip over to your right side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold over to the left side. Inhale back to center. Release your hands and exhale, hinge forward, flat back. Fingertips ground you. Step your right foot back and out, setting up for warrior one. And on your inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. If you like to use blocks, we can go ahead and set our blocks high, ready for us for pyramid pose. And then resettle, return to warrior one, bending into your left knee. Imagine steering your left hip back, right hip forward. Press into the pinky side edge of your back foot. Gaze ahead with a steady focus, so finding a drishti, an unmoving focal point. Another fully focused breath. On your inhale, straighten your left leg. Hinge forward on an exhale. Core muscles engaged, supporting your trunk. And as you're ready, release your hands to the blocks or to your front leg, or maybe to the earth. As you settle in, imagine shifting your left hip back in space. Keep the spine long. So you might imagine drawing the shoulder blades together and down. Let the breath be full here. Remembering that you're always in control of your practice, so if you ever need to soften or do a little less, that's fine. One more big breath like this. And as you're ready, you could put the blocks back at the top of the mat. On an inhale, reach your arms alongside your ears, put a little bend in your knee, come on up to Virabhadrasana 1. Returning to warrior 1 for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, reach as high as you can. And on your exhale, return your hands to frame the left foot. Step yourself back into plank. You're welcome to go into child's pose for a break, to go right into downward facing dog, or to move through Chaturanga Dandasana with me, inhaling forward on the tippy toes. Exhale, lower halfway, untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose, about 5 full breaths. Letting your gaze be back between your legs or towards your navel. Imagining the inner thighs spiraling towards each other and then back behind you. Feeling the shoulders slide up towards your ears since our arms are in flexion. The head still heavy and relaxed. On an inhale, look forward. On an exhale, hop or step your way back to the top of the mat, forward fold. And with an inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. Exhale, draw your hands down through the midline and then by your sides. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward, core engaged all the way down. Fingertips touch down, left foot steps back and out, setting up for warrior one. Having the blocks available as we'll transition to pyramid. When you're ready, inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. As always, you can bring your hands to your hips, checking alignment. Shifting the outer left hip forward, outer right hip back, then perhaps rebending into your front leg. Lots of energy to the pinky side edge of your back leg. As you stay for another couple of breaths, you may be noticing if there are any tendencies, clenching in the jaw or holding the breath, maybe running off with thoughts. Just using our practice as an opportunity to become aware of the way we are. And with a big breath in, straighten your right leg, long spine. Exhale, hinge forward, reaching as if you're reaching to the distance. And then releasing your hands to the blocks, the right leg or the earth. You can always adjust your stance to what you've got to do as you settle in. Keeping the image of a long spine so flat we could put our teacups on it. Shifting the right hip back in space now, left hip forward, and that cue really just guides us towards neutral hips. You might imagine lifting the back of your neck towards the sky. And as you're ready, small bend in the right knee. Reach your arms alongside your ears and rise back up, returning to Virabhadrasana 1. Taking a few breaths here. Inhaling for length. Exhaling, the hands come back to the earth. Step yourself into plank. Option to pause in child's pose or to Chaturanga Dandasana, inhaling forward on your tippy toes. Grip with your fingertips as you exhale, lowering halfway. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths. Child's pose or downward facing dog. As you're ready, inhale to look forward between your hands. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. On an inhale, rise all the way up, full body stretch, reach. Exhaling, hands come to heart. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, long spine. As your hands touch down, you could put a soft bend in your knees as we're transitioning to standing splits. So fingertips at least a foot in front of your toes. Let's carry the weight into the right leg, engaging the right gluteal muscles as we kick the left heel towards the hip, lift the left knee towards the sky, and then extend the left leg. Doing the best you can. If the left hip has hiked up and started to stack on the right, then you might lower the left. Lots of energy through the left leg, even if it's not as high as you feel like it ought to be. You can let your head hang heavy here. Perhaps you lift your right hand off of the mat and hug to the back of the right leg. Finding something to focus on, maybe just below your kneecap, maybe just in front of your toes. Giving a focal point as you breathe another breath or two, you might explore lifting the left hand off of the earth for any fraction of time. And as you're ready, set the left foot down. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Engage your left gluteal muscles as you shift the weight into your left foot. Slowly pick up your right foot, bringing the right heel towards your hip, then lifting the right knee towards the sky, and eventually extending the right leg. And then if we notice we've hiked the right hip up on top of the left, we'll drop it. Lots of energy into both legs. Breathing deeply, you might lift the left hand off of the mat. I like to hug it onto my calf muscles on the left leg. Staying for another couple of breaths. Maybe you lift the right hand off of the earth. May or may not be an option to do that. Another full cycle of breath. And with your exhale, softly set your right foot down next to the left. Inhale to lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold forward and then drop your hips and your seat all the way to the earth. Breathe deeply as you roll onto your back. Coming onto the spine. As you're ready, hug the right knee in towards your chest and send the left leg long. Point the left toes away from you, really create a stretch. You can open your right knee out wide towards the right for a breath, like a little frog pose, and then guide the right knee across the body over to the left side, taking a reclined spinal twist. You might open the right arm out wide, maybe look over the right shoulder. Enjoy a breath or two. And then come back through neutral, hugging the right knee in, then hug the left knee in. Maybe rock side to side. And send the right leg long. Hug the left knee up to the heart, and maybe open it out wide to the left. And then guide the left knee back to center. Breathing in and breathing out, we transition to a twist. Left leg over to the right. Left arm can open out wide. Maybe look over your left shoulder. Breathing deeply, return to neutral, hugging both legs in for just a breath. And then sending both legs and arms long, taking your rest in Shavasana. Breathing deeply, As a reminder, this week, the fourth Yama is Brahmacharya. And our quote is from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "The world belongs to the energetic." The world belongs to the energetic. As always, you're welcome to linger longer. For the sake of this 30-minute practice, we'll close by returning to an easy seat if you're ready. And as you return, sit tall. Perhaps this week you'll incorporate an intention of some sort. If you're going with the Yama theme, then it might be to honor yourself and others by managing your energy. If you'd like to draw your hands together in front of your heart, you could imagine sending your intentions out into the world with this vibration of sound, inhaling for Om. I hope you have a wonderful Monday.